Made, and this is the Fox News Rundown.
Subscribe and listen now by going to foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you get your podcasts. From the Fox News Podcasts Network.
Hey, this is Trey Gowdy, host of the Trey Gowdy Podcast. Every Tuesday, you'll hear what's on my mind. Plus, every Thursday, there's a special bonus episode where we answer the questions that are on your mind. Make sure to spend your Tuesdays and Thursdays with Trey. Subscribe now at foxnewspodcast.com or wherever you download podcasts. Hope to see you.
America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
They've made an arrest. Cloudy overnight, headed into a somewhat sunny Sunday. I'm Sasha Nixon. Here's what's trending this hour. From victim to suspect, Jaden Arnold reports on the Castleton Square Mall shooting.
18-year-old Curtis Wilson has been arrested for criminal recklessness in connection with the shooting that took place at Castleton Square Mall on Friday. Wilson was shot during the incident and has since been released from the hospital. He is now in police custody. Jaden Arnold, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A Kentucky woman has also been arrested after police tried to stop her for reckless driving, and she just kept going. Indiana State Police tried to stop Victory Pickett Friday afternoon on I-65. Someone had called 911 about an erratic driver who officers later believed to be Pickett. Police say she was heading up the road at more than 100 miles per hour when a trooper tried to stop her. According to Indiana State Police, the woman was pursued until she saw a tire deflation device lying across the road. She stopped and was taken to the Tippecanoe County Jail. The Boat Sport and Travel Show is going on now. Then, after this weekend, it runs from next Wednesday through next Sunday in Indianapolis at the State Fairgrounds. For this weekend only, however, you can see a woman named Sarah Twister. She's a contortionist.
My favorite bit of my show is a stunt called for archery. It's firing a bow and arrow with your feet.
It's where she balances on her arms upside down with her feet and lower body over her head to fire a bow and arrow. Get discounted tickets at boatsportandtravelshow.com. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. Now here's the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Clouds increase to mostly cloudy skies for tonight. An isolated chance at an early morning sprinkle. Low temperatures in the mid-30s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, breezy. High temperatures climb into the mid-50s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
Hey, it's Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. It's our 96th birthday, so we're having a sale. Now through Monday, save on everything from Lazy Boy, Indiana-made Smith Brothers of Bern, mattresses by Sealy, Stearns & Foster, even Tempur-Pedic. Spring is right around the corner, so save big on Berlin Gardens and Pollywood Outdoor Furniture. Sale ends Monday only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus with free delivery and interest-free financing.
Are you working way too hard for way too little? There's never been a better time to consider a career in IT. You could enjoy a recession-resistant career in a rewarding field with plenty of growth opportunities and often flexible work environments. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. You could start your new career in months, not years. Take classes online or on campus, and financial aid is available to qualified students, including the GI Bill. Now is the time. mycomputercareer.edu.
Housing discrimination because of race, color, or national origin is against the law. If you believe you've experienced housing discrimination, contact HUD at hud.gov/fair housing.
Through their service, veterans have our backs. Now we should have theirs. Learn more at gotyoursix.org.
Denkst du vielleicht gerade an mich? Dann singe ich ein Lied für dich von 99.
You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
My God, the prophecies spoken long ago are true. U.S. fighter jets have been busy shooting down those 99 Luft balloons. 4 down, 95 to go. It has been crazy, to say the least. 2 weeks ago, we told you when the Chinese spy balloon was initially brought down by U.S. fighter jets, a feat itself that was initially cast doubt upon by experts who said it wasn't feasible to do so with a missile. And then, of course, we watched it get popped live on Fox News feed and fall plummeting into the ocean. Since then, 3 more unidentified objects have been brought down, but they're not as associated with China or extraterrestrials as some would like you to believe. Hey, by the way, thanks for joining the show. My name is Ethan Hatcher. A pleasure to be here as always. For the first time ever, producer Allison also joining the program.
Hello.
It's glad to have a steady hand at the producer desk.
Excited to be here tonight.
I'm excited to have you. Hey, how are you enjoying your new gig with Hammer and Nige, transitioning from Tony Katz?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. They're great energy, and there's a bar. So, bonus.
3 drinks are always a plus wherever you are. I hope you enjoy the program this evening.
Thank you.
So we begin, of course, with the balloons brought down last Friday over Alaska, and then the next day, another unidentified object shot down in Canada, and then finally, the U.S. military shot down an object over Lake Huron last Sunday afternoon, and since then, efforts to recover the balloon have been hindered by choppy seas, and I can tell the administration has never listened to Gordon Lightfoot, because I could have told you that.
The legend lives on from the Chippewa on down of the big lake they call Gitchagumi. The lake, it is said, never gives up her dead when the skies of November turn gloomy.
Winter waters on the lake are nothing to joke about. Fortunately, no nefarious materials were in danger of being lost because these balloons turned out to be relatively benign. This was after John Kirby had made a statement about the administration's tenacity when it comes to ensuring the border security both on land and the air for the Biden administration.
Given all you've discussed here and the actions the administration is taking and what people have learned, Chinese spy balloon this year and previous years, these unidentified objects that we shoot down, they might have a question. When it comes to these higher altitudes, are America's borders secure?
The president takes, as I said earlier, he takes our national security extremely seriously. He has no higher responsibility than the safety and security of the American people.
That's a joke.
And I don't think you need to look any further, quite frankly, than the decisions he's made in just the last week to 10 days to evidence that.
Panicked, short-sighted decisions that clearly were made without much forethought, because in the aftermath of shooting down the Chinese balloon, administration went into overdrive mode, bringing down these unidentified objects from that Biden says he acted out of an abundance of caution, and they turned out to be completely benign or for commercial purposes. In fact, the one over Lake Huron, it took 2 Sidewinder missiles to break down because the first one missed. Now, maybe that's why they didn't shoot the Chinese spy balloon over land, because I can only imagine the disaster that would have happened if that Sidewinder missile would have landed somewhere in the continental United States. Fortunately, plopped into the water, but then also bringing down a science project from the state of Illinois. The Bottle Cap Balloon Brigade set up a $12 inflatable, and it was taken down by a $485,000 Sidewinder missile, possibly. We don't know, but the science team is in communication with the FBI to verify this. The balloon itself had circumnavigated the globe more than, or about 6 times, and had made its last communication near Hagemeister, Alaska, in the southwestern corner of the state, before ultimately losing contact. And the administration would have you believe that these ridiculous actions were done out of caution or forethought. No, this is an administration in panic. This is an administration that got caught with its pants down after having tracked the spy balloon in advance of it ever entering U.S. airspace. This is also something we're discovering in the passing weeks. The United States had been tracking it since it was launched from China. This, according to a report by CBS.
Well, the newest information on a Chinese spy balloon shot down off the Atlantic coast shows the U.S. military tracked the device for 1 week before it drifted across the continental U.S. CBS News senior White House and political correspondent Ed O'Keefe, is at the White House with more on this for us. Good morning.
Good morning, Chanel and Marie. Good to see you. CBS News has learned from U.S. intelligence sources that the U.S. had basically been tracking this balloon since it took off the South China course Hainan Island as it drifted towards Guam and Hawaii and then made that northern turn up to Alaska. It was at that point, officials say it's possible the balloon was just blown off its initial course by weather, but they insist the Chinese still had control of it as the balloon came south over the lower 48 states. As for the 3 objects shot down this weekend by U.S. fighter jets, the strongest theory now from the intelligence community is that the objects are benign or just harmless research balloons. There is still no word on the condition of the wreckage.
Could have taken it down above the Yukon before it ever entered into the United States. But this is an administration that was caught dithering and is now rightfully being mocked by Republicans for its reactionary shooting down of these benign weather balloons. Former Republican Congressman and Army Reservist Peter Meyer tweeting out, "Rip to the Northern Illinois Bottle Cap Balloon Brigade's $80 ham radio transmitter balloon, likely the victim of friendly fire by a $143 million U.S. Air Force F-22, firing a $485,000 AIM-9X Sidewinder missile during the Great Balloon Panic of 2023. An administration in disarray, caught with its pants down after allowing foreign adversaries access to potential intelligence information by allowing the spy balloon to cross over the continental United States. At every turn, it seems like this administration leaves behind a woeful legacy of failure. You're listening to 93 WIBC. Stay tuned for more. Join us, by the way, live in progress with the YouTube stream on YouTube. Just look up WIBC. Join the chat in progress and stay tuned because coming up next, My Misery Can Be Your Gain in one of the most unusual segments featured on WIBC in a while and promoted by Kendall and Casey masterfully early this week.
I think the segment we're going to do later this hour may indeed be the most compelling radio topic. Most interesting, most intriguing. Ethan Hatcher, who does the Saturday Night on the Circle show, is going to be with us, and he's got something going on in his life that I just think everybody is going to, it's a what would you do type of thing.
It's unfortunate that it's happening to one of our own.
Yeah, and he's willing to talk about it, and I think it's super interesting. And one of the great things about this radio station is our hosts share their lives with people. And so everybody has totally got to stick around for this entire hour to hear that segment.
My loss can be your gain. Stay tuned to 93 WIBC Saturday Night on the Circle for more to come.
When you wake up.
State police are looking into why an officer.
When you work.
Must deal with the debt limit.
When you drive home.
Were alerted by a canine that drugs.
Traffic when you need it.
It's going to get brutal out there.
And updates all the time. Mornings with Tony Katz.
Never dawned on me. Wait a second.
Middays with Kendall and Casey.
Some of that is true.
Are you paying your hard-earned money?
Afternoons with Hammer and Nigel.
Was this just the excuse?
That's a fireable offense.
93 WIBC.
Everybody's talking about regenerative medicine now because people who have joint pain are getting real, lasting relief without drugs or surgery. Tony Katz here. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in this exciting treatment. They use highly concentrated healing agents from your own body to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. If you have ongoing joint pain from arthritis or injury, you need to call QC Kinetics. Don't assume that steroids and surgery are your only option. Times have changed, and regenerative medicine can get you moving again with no downtime, so stop taking the pain meds and discover this remarkable alternative that pro athletes have been using for years. Thanks to QC Kinetics, this amazing treatment option is now available for people like you and me who are sick and tired of joint pain. Don't put it off any longer. Spring is coming and you want to enjoy all life has to offer. Call QC Kinetics right now for a totally free consultation with medical professionals in Eagle Creek, Greenwood, and now in Carmel. 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-200-1966. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-200-1966. That's 800-200-1966 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-200-1966. 800-200-1966.
Hi, this is Denny Smith for Zero Res, and it's that time of year when we all need fresh beginnings. So what better way to do that than with a smarter lasting clean for your home? How about fresh beginnings for your home rugs, hardwood floors, and ceramic tiles to have them looking their best all year long? Zero Res uses their unique cleaning technology to perfectly clean your floors and more. Their patented ZR water is the real thing, and it cleans your carpets and floors without a soapy residue. Soapy residues means things get dirtier quicker, and ZR water prevents that from happening because it attracts the dirt by itself. Best of all, the knowledgeable technicians at Zero Res know just how to put it to work to make sure your floors are entirely clean. If you call Zero Res today and mention WIBC, you get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $139. Or visit ZeroResIndy.com for easy scheduling. For a smarter lasting clean, call 388-5141. 388-5141. 388-5141 by phone, and for easy scheduling, just visit ZeroResIndy.com.
Hi, this is Kelsey Grammer. When military service members head into battle, none are expected to face the enemy alone, but many return home and become isolated as they struggle with the visible and invisible wounds of war. It can be difficult knowing how to overcome that challenge and rekindle bonds similar to those formed in the military. Wounded Warrior Project supports these injured veterans through their recoveries by connecting them with fellow warriors and their communities. No one should fight this battle alone. Join us at woundedwarriorproject.org.
We're all different. 1 in 5 of us live with a mental illness. Don't filter who you are. Talk to someone you trust. Learn more at bringchangetomind.org.
No Kid Hungry is providing healthy meals and hope to hungry kids so they can build better futures. Learn more at helpnokidhungry.org.
This is Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
Welcome back to the show. This is Saturday Night on the Circle, where I'm your bohemian codger, Ethan Hatcher. Thanks for joining me. Catch my podcasts at SaturdayNightOnTheCircle.fireside.fm, WIBC.com, and streaming on YouTube. As most of you know, by day, I dabble in the profession of being a housing provider, and this week my profession put me in an incredibly unusual and interesting situation, which begged the question that if presented with the same circumstance, what would you do? How would you handle it? I was able to discuss this on the Kendall and Casey program this week, and now replaying the segment for your entertainment and consideration.
I think this next segment, I've been in radio for 21 years.
Yeah.
And I think this next segment we're about to do may be the most interesting one ever.
We're going to get into it, aren't we?
Well, and
Is this like the confessional?
Well, I've interviewed the president too, and I'm putting this above maybe even that. This story, I saw it yesterday on social media, and I was totally riveted by it.
Yeah.
And I said, I must know
everything,
all the details on it, and so
all the gory details.
Yeah. So okay, we're going to introduce our guest.
This is like a
here.
therapy session.
Yeah. It involves
Kendall and Casey live therapy.
That is Ethan Hatcher, the voice of Ethan Hatcher. He does the Saturday Night on the Circle show, 7 to 9 Saturdays here on WIBC. And Ethan, you posted this on Facebook. You are in the process. You are a landlord by day, right? Like that's your job. You own properties and you rent them to people and you give people housing.
That is correct. A housing provider.
And you are now in the process of evicting your ex because she has not paid you rent. Did I just summarize that properly?
You have summarized that accurately, and yet somehow, naturally, I have been portrayed to be the bad guy in this situation.
Oh.
Yeah, even though I'm the one with holding a $3K debt.
Okay, so let's start with this. Okay, so the fact that this never, I was reading your post on social media last night, and it never even dawned on me that it's even possible, and it should have, that the idea that someone you were once with, you are now the landlord for. How long has that been going on, and how was that even
last year when we separated? It was a means to get her out of the house because it was difficult for her to leave. Well, she'd just gotten a real job, so
I forgot the popcorn.
Well, so where are you going to get the deposit? Where are you going to get the rental history? It's a tough market.
Sure.
There's also a lack of affordable housing that I provide, and
So
I loved her. I cared for her deeply. I did not want her exit to be one of great difficulty, and so the gentlemanly thing to do, in spite of everything, was to offer her a affordable place to live. As long as she paid, that was the contingency. You have to treat this like a tenant relationship.
How long did that last? Like, at what point?
About a year.
I mean, at what point did the payments
started to hit the rocks around October, and I'm like, uh-oh.
Do you reach out to her?
Yes, of course. Last payment, the sequence of last payment received was in December. I sent her a notice with a minimum payment in January in order to avoid eviction filing. She blew it off, and again, out of kindness, I went out of my way to contact her and gently remind her, hey, minimum payment, avoid eviction filing. And she blew that off after an additional week extension. And so I had to file. And then she's had a month and a half that she's known the court date was a coming. And she strolls into the office. First time I've talked to her in more than a year. And now she needs something and wants to give me like $200 and I need more than this to satisfy the debt. And she starts fundraising that Friday and doesn't notify me until Sunday at 1 a.m. I'm sorry. I do not check the phone. The office phone at Sunday at 1 a.m. You also have my personal number, which was an option, as well as my Facebook contact, which was also an option.
Let me just reset for people who are just tuning in. So Ethan Hatcher, the host of Saturday Night on the Circle, is our guest.
Who's rubbing his head, his temples right now.
I'm stressed out and I'm sad about this, Rob, because this is a person that I cared about, and I don't want them to fail. I do not want them to fail.
Would this person be homeless, Ethan?
Even now, they have friends. They can figure it out. They're an adult. They're an adult human being.
So Ethan is a landlord by his day job. He allowed his ex to rent a property from him, and now he is having to begin the eviction process because she has not.
I got the order as of Monday because I was given, of course, they did not appear to the court hearing. The ex. And I did not receive their notification that they sent at 1 o'clock in the morning, and then they didn't try to get a hold of me again until 9:20, and the hearing starts at 9. I'm sorry, honey dearest.
Yeah, and I can confirm, because I did go look, that it appeared that she was fundraising from her friends.
She's gotten almost
on social media to pay you the rent
that I know about to have paid rent, and is evidently contributing nothing. And she has a boyfriend that is a concrete finisher. Where's Mr. Wonderful? I paid the bills. I was responsible for this at one time. I am a miss, and then I'm the villain and all.
Well, okay, so I want to point this out, though, because I told you I wanted to have you in, not just because of this, but we talked about this many times throughout, really since COVID, how terrible landlords have been treated, because you've said many times you have been stuck with thousands and thousands of dollars in bills from people who have not paid their rent.
I'm still collecting, owed in excess of $30,000 debt from the rents missed over the COVID pandemic.
That Holcomb said people didn't have to pay.
Correct.
But you had to pay it, right? The
mortgages and taxes still came due.
Yeah, the Holcomb did not suspend your taxes, right?
No.
Yeah,
and the mortgage company didn't say, "Oh, Ethan, you're being very charitable to these tenants who aren't paying.
You're good. It's all good here." No, that's not how the business world works, it turns out.
Casey.
So the eviction moratorium is over. Is X employed?
Yes. as far as I know.
So why
I think
can't X come up with the money?
They had loss of job loss in transition. So they were working at a place of employment, in the downtown that ended, and they transitioned to another job.
Okay. And no savings to speak of.
I can't even, Ethan. I mean, it's very rare that we do a radio segment, and I was like, I don't even know how to start it. I don't even know where it's going to go, because this is such a terrible position that you are being put in.
Well, and I want to emphasize that in spite of this all, because I do not want this woman to fail, and I cared about her deeply once, there is still a means to get the eviction dismissed, which I will do, but now it's contingent on paying the debt, which is a reasonable request,
which is what any other landlord would do, right?
Right. And the ex has said that they did not expect special treatment, but now are very much lamenting the fact that special treatment was not granted.
But you were offering special treatment to begin with, weren't you?
Yes, many people in my position would not have been as generous to rent the property.
And this is why you don't do anything nice.
This is why I didn't want to do it. This is why I did not want to do it, because of this eventuality. Like, I did not want to be the person that filed the eviction. And some people could be vindictive about it. That's not what I wanted to be. That's not the position that I wanted to be in.
Yeah, so why did you... Because I was reading this last night, and I'm thinking, I feel so bad for this poor guy. And I was reading the comments, and I think most people were sharing those. Why did you finally decide to put this out there?
Because she was getting money from her friends to pay her rent, and she's not paying the rent and showing up to court. Stop asking her friends for money if you're not going to do the things to avoid the eviction. Like this, I find that to be a little bit dishonest.
I believe what we're looking for is he had reached his limit.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. I mean, I just kept reading it over and over again last night. I was literally laying in bed, and I just kept going, I don't know what I would do if I were this guy. I don't know how I'd handle it, because the reality is, right, like you talked about during the COVID thing, your bills as a landlord don't stop, right?
And they still come due today with the property tax increases that you have elucidated in great detail on this award-winning show.
I'm just... I don't even know how to end the segment, Casey.
It's because it's sad, Rob. That is the ultimate capstone to this. It's sad. It's not mirthful and something we should relish. It is the natural course of actions from poor decision making.
Ethan,
and that's a sad commentary.
Has this changed your view on being a landlord? Is this something you still want to do?
Of course.
Okay.
This is my profession. Without being a housing provider, I could not also be a professional broadcaster. That is the subsidizing of this job.
Is the lesson of this, too, the pitfalls of going into business
with friends and family?
Yeah,
Don't do it. Don't do it, because it puts you in the position that you're either going to have to take a loss, take it in the teeth. And this is what a wise sage once told me. To give is better than to lend, for they both cost the same.
Yeah, that's so great. Ethan, man, I want to thank you for telling this story, because it's not easy to talk about your personal business, but I just thought it was an incredibly interesting story and a dynamic that I would imagine our audience had never even considered, and I just thought it was just super fascinating, man.
I enjoyed the Roundtable WIBC therapy session.
Have you changed your view at all of being the bigger person?
No, because that's based on my own feelings and moral positions, and I don't think that it's worth changing because of how somebody else behaves.
Yeah, keep us posted on how this goes.
Yeah,
all right.
There's still a way out. There is still a way out.
Yeah, she's got to give you the money, right?
Yes, that's it.
Show him the money.
Yeah,
Casey,
would you like to take us to break and we'll go give Ethan a hug?
I think he needs one.
Learn from me. Learn from my mistakes for your own benefit and self-improvement. Or know this, if you're in the position to do business with friends, family, or indeed former lovers, then understand you may be forced into the situation where you're going to have to call in the debt, and be prepared to handle that one way or the other. You're listening to Saturday Night on The Circle. Depressing topics, but more fun ahead, fortunately. Stay tuned to 93 WIBC, Saturday Night on The Circle.
93 WIBC.
Shane Steichen was introduced as the next Indianapolis Colts head coach.
I go with my gut feeling on a lot of things.
Have his team throw to score points and then run to win.
I know we got some pieces in place to get that done.
Hear the news.
Here in East Palestine,
consider using bottled water.
Dead fish indicates there were contaminants that left the site.
The EPA is closely monitoring.
Another update is just minutes away.
What are UFOs?
We're actually very unsure.
We've started shooting them down.
93 WIBC.
Find your outdoor adventure at the Ford 68th Annual Indianapolis Boat Sport and Travel Show, February 17th through 19th and 22nd through 26th at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. Over 750,000 square feet of the latest boats, RVs, power sports, motorcycles, Tackletown USA, travel destinations from across North America, and much more. Save money and buy tickets online at IndySportShow.com. And don't miss the 25th Annual Indiana Deer, Turkey, and Waterfowl Expo during the final 4 days of the sports show, February 23rd through 26th at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. It's the largest hunting expo in the Midwest, displaying the latest hunting, archery, and waterfowl gear. Hunting outfitters from around the globe. Learn from the pros at the Hunting Seminar Series. Get your deer scored and see the Hoosier Record Book Hall of Fame. One ticket gets you into both shows. Save money and buy tickets online at IndySportShow.com. Another Renfro production.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code OIL to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code OIL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code OIL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
I'm Ann Carrick. Former President Jimmy Carter returns home to receive hospice care. The news coming from the Carter Center indicating full support from both family and medical teams.
Carter served as America's 39th president, defeating Gerald Ford in 1976 before being beaten by Ronald Reagan in 1980. The 98-year-old Carter previously survived metastatic melanoma, the diagnosis of which was announced in August of 2015.
Fox's Kevin Uretsky. Residents are happy to see FEMA on the ground in East Palestine, Ohio, after a toxic train derailment and chemical burn-off, followed by concerns about the air and water.
We have to keep fighting to get real answers. Everybody getting all of their wells and home air and soil tested. Like, these are communities that grow food.
Resident Jenna Gianos on Fox News Live. America's listening to Fox News.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But inflation and recession has you wondering if all of your hard-earned equity will still be there. What if you could recession-proof your equity right now? You can with TrueHold. TrueHold will buy your home for its best current value before a recession can erode it. You get to bank all the cash now and live in your home for as long as you want. And TrueHold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance. And since TrueHold pays your home's current value in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't wait for inflation, recession, and interest rates to erode your home's value. Visit TrueHold.com and discover how much TrueHold will buy your home for today, based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, fastest way to cash out on your home's value without having to move. That's TrueHold.com.
Everyone here knows Diamonds Direct is the place to go for the best diamonds at the best prices. But did you know that savvy buyers from all over America, even Los Angeles and New York, now come here to buy their diamonds? These high-end shoppers have discovered that Diamonds Direct has one of America's best selections of large, rare diamonds, from 3 carats to 20 carats, all certified by the GIA, the most reputable and most trusted gem lab in the world. Because of Diamonds Direct's international connections and tremendous buying power, we're one of only a handful of jewelry jewelry stores in America that is able to offer a large selection of rare and precious GIA diamonds. In fact, Diamonds Direct's multi-million-dollar selection includes a stunning array of high-end Riviera necklaces, 20-carat tennis bracelets, and an extraordinary collection of rare, precious gemstones, rubies, sapphires, emeralds, and even the really hard-to-find fancy yellow diamonds. Come see why Diamonds Direct right here is the destination for high-end shoppers all over America. Extraordinary selection, quality, and unmatched value. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. DiamondsDirect.com.
You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
Welcome back to the pinnacle of Saturday night broadcasting with your host, Ethan Hatcher. And this week, I'll be taking you on a dazzling tour of leftist blundering from Don Lemon to KJP. You'll get your weekly quota of liberals who've lost the plot. But be sure not to miss a single second of this week's edition of Hat Tricks with Hatcher.
It's time for another one of Hatcher's Hat Tricks.
The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle with your humble host, Ethan Hatcher. And beep, 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 pushing those buttons and doing the things is the dutiful producer, Allison, doing an excellent job. By the way, you got a fan on the YouTube chat noting that you are pulling double duty and doing a damn fine job.
I am. I'm just going to live here now, I think. Yeah.
Well, we're happy to have you.
Yeah.
We're happy to have you. And, you're bringing the chipper attitude. You're bringing the quality broadcasting. You're enhancing the overall broadcast. Why wouldn't we want you here?
Oh, I'm so excited. I never get to be here at night during the weekend. So it's fun. It's fun.
We try to have fun here on Saturday Night on the Circle. And I'm sure you have been used to, I know for a fact, you have dealt with taxing personalities and talents in the past. How would you feel if you were in the same room with Don Lemon when he made this spectacular blunder referring to Nikki Haley as a woman past her prime, sitting next to not one but two female co-hosts? This was fascinating.
I think that this whole talk about age makes me uncomfortable. I think it's the wrong road to go down. She says people, politicians or something are not in their prime. Nikki Haley isn't in her prime. Sorry. When a woman is considered to be in her prime in her 20s and 30s and maybe 40s.
What are you talking? Wait.
That's not according to me.
Prime for what?
It depends. I mean, it's just like prime. If you look it up, it'll say, if you Google when is a woman in her prime, it'll say 20s, 30s, and 40s. I don't necessarily.
40s. Oh, I got another.
I'm not saying I agree with that. So I think she has to be careful about saying that politicians aren't in their prime.
You need to qualify. Are you talking about prime for like childbearing, or are you talking about prime for being president?
What the facts are. Google it. Everybody at home. When is a woman in her prime? It says 20s, 30s, and 40s. And I'm just saying Nikki Haley should be careful about saying that politicians are not in their prime and they need to be in their prime when they serve, because she wouldn't be in her prime according to Google or whatever it is.
Would you just like to be his co-host in that moment? I mean, that's great.
Oh, thank goodness for Poppy in that situation.
It's like nails on a chalkboard. It was hysterical. And incidentally, I did the hard work and looked up on Google what is a woman in her prime. We have answers.
Oh, boy.
Turns out the Healthy Journal says that a woman in her prime is between the ages of 28 and 35.
Oh, boy.
For men, I guess that ends at 40. Why does it end at 40 for men?
Why does it end at 35 for
45. No, you get 5 extra good years.
You said 35. Okay.
Yeah, you get 5 extra good years. I feel discriminated against.
We live longer, so. Oh, brother,
a man is
it's
past
all
his
crazy.
prime after. Okay,
oh, man.
Well, yeah, interesting. But yeah, so Don Lemon, of course, failing in spectacular fashion, and then now having to walk back his remarks. He had to apologize to the co-hosts. I'm sure he had to write like a letter of self-reflection and do like a multi-page essay or something like that. And also, CNN's chairman has since rebuked Don Lemon over the remarks. It's interesting that in this context, text. Don Lemon saying that Nikki Haley, a woman of 51, is past her prime. But then we have Kamala Harris defending Biden as a strong leader reaching the pinnacle of his prime. This is interesting. Here was her remarks made during the interview with Angrier Mitchell on MSNBC.
But when you present the suggestion that anyone is saying that it is time for a new generation and they're running against the person who is president, and when presented as though it's an attack, I would like to let us all be clear that the attack is misplaced. If the point of it is that we need leadership that is strong, because we have a strong leader in Joe Biden.
Thank you very much, Madam Vice President.
Thank you.
Thank you for
We have a strong leader in Biden, a man of 80 who more often than not looks like he's completely lost in whatever room he's managed to wander into. And yet Don Lemon saying Nikki Haley, whatever you think of her, a woman past her prime at age 51. Indeed, I think any leadership is a good alternative to the Biden administration. But again, we've got the smoke screen going on. KJP stepping up to the plate, saying with a straight face that Biden is the best communicator the White House has, which is unbelievable.
The view of the president's communications team that he is equally adept in all settings in terms of communications, or are there some that play to greater strengths, some where he probably isn't as strong, etc.?
I will tell you this, the president is the best communicator that we have in the White House.
Best communicator we have in the White House, which may be true because she certainly fails at her job as press secretary more often than not, failing to communicate even simple, long-established concepts like NORAD when she's brought onto the media.
Why is the American military shooting something out of the sky over Canada?
Because it's part of NORAD. The NORAD is part of it's a what you call a coalition, a consortium,
a pact of nations.
A pact,
okay.
Exactly. And so that's why we were able to do that. Again, we didn't do it on our own. We did it clearly in step with Canada.
Canada. I like that. You're listening to 93 WIBC, Saturday night on The Circle. Check podcasts uploaded to WIBC.com, Saturday night on The Circle.fireside.fm, and also join the streaming chat in progress on YouTube. Just look up WIBC, and you can find our program streaming now. Before I go, though, of course, capstone to the insanity of the week. Last weekend, following their defeat, naturally, the Denzians of Philadelphia decided to riot in the streets, breaking windows, climbing atop cars, knocking down street signs, and chanting, "F the Chiefs!" Rioting in Philadelphia, however, is not terribly uncommon. What was unusual and perhaps the strangest moment in sports was when on the 9th tee, did you catch this, producer Allison, when professional golfer Tiger Woods handed his opponent a tampon?
So classy.
We actually have audio live from the 9th tee.
Loser. What? Hello?
One writer said Woods has stooped to a new low, and others thought the move was sexist and degrading to women. No, here, I take objection to that. See if you agree with me, because this seems like such boomer humor. And who's the real loser? Because you had to carry around the tampon in your pocket for hours to do this dud joke. So I don't know if it's degrading to women or is it degrading to you because you're an idiot.
Well, and two, what a waste of a tampon. Those things are expensive.
Yes. So a bit of a self-owned there. It's like this picture I saw one time uploaded. It was something F. Biden done on the trail, done on the hunting trail with rabbit poo. And again, I don't like Biden, but you had to touch the poo to make the message.
Yeah.
Who's losing here? Tiger Woods, that guy, right at the same level. You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle. Stay tuned for more. Coming up next, I want to talk about something that's gaining traction with the Utes. We'll see if producer Allison agrees with the concept of human composting. Stay tuned to 93 WIBC.
When traffic's a bear, Matt Bear is a beast.
On the north side, 465 East is a parking lot for Meridian. Also, we have slow traffic from 82nd Street all the way up to 860.
When you need to get from here.
If you're coming in from Hamilton County, it's going to be time
to there.
Into bridge construction at 465 and 60.
Matt Bear, mornings and afternoons.
It's going to be tough getting home tonight, but you'll be binge watching Stranger Things before too long.
93 WIBC.
Indy Humane, committed to helping Central Indiana's pets in need since 1905. Find your new best friend today, indyhumane.org.
There are screening tests to catch cancer early. Visit cancer.org/getscreened.
You don't have to live in Indiana too long to know that winter means cold. Crazy cold. And winter can be hard on the siding of your home. You got to make sure your siding doesn't have any cracks or breaks, because those cracks can cause leaks and water damage can cost you a lot of money. Do not be worried. Moss Roofing is here to help. From inspections to full replacements, they have plans to fit any budget. Just ask about their payment options. Moss Roofing uses James Hardy siding. It's low maintenance, comes painted, and you get money back when you sell your home because it increases the value of your home. If you're in need of siding help, Moss Roofing is the contractor for you. Contact Moss Roofing at Moss, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com, or call 317-747-3665. Tell them Tony Katz sent you. 317-747-3665, or online at Moss, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Mark Dietl is the only real estate agent I trust to sell my home. How about Judy in Greenfield? She was moving out of town, had a problem. She needed to sell her house fast. And she also needed all the equity for her new place. So she needed a great price and needed it quick. She heard about Mark Dietl on our show, and his team went above and beyond to market Judy's home like crazy. Home sold in 9 days at list price.
The best in the business is Mark Dietl. Why? Because he offers you the guarantee. Mark Dietl guarantees an offer in 3 days at full market value, or he will list it for free. That is the Mark Dietl guarantee. Call him right now. 317-755-4232, or go online to markdietl.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietl.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
The latest local news, commentary from Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey,
5.6%
Hammer and Nigel,
Biden.
Podcasts. Listen to the station live, whenever, wherever, online at WIBC.com.
Remember that you're standing on a planet that's evolving and revolving at 900 miles an hour. That's orbiting at 90 miles.
You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
the sun and you and
Many
me
have
and all the stars
awakened
that we can
to a
see.
startling
I'm
reality
moving
that the
miles
funeral
away.
industry is shockingly predatory and can set you back tens of thousands of dollars for even a modest funeral to honor the memory of loved ones. And in recent years, it's driven some to seek alternatives to traditional burial. You're listening to 93 WIBC, Saturday night on The Circle. I'm your host, Ethan Hatcher. Of course, cremation has become an increasingly popular option in recent years, increasing by 57% over the last 15 years. But even more recently than that, an alternative known as human composting, which is what it sounds like. It would be returning your body to the soil, is becoming increasingly popular with young people like Michelle Scaff, a 31-year-old in Seattle who's availing herself of the service's Return Home. I guess they have these futuristic pods filled with sod and sawdust and soil and natural bacteria that is meant to help consume the body and return you to a natural state. I'm not against it. What say you, producer Allison?
Not at all, actually. And like you were just talking about, funerals are so expensive. And I definitely see our generation moving to something similar.
If you get a little bit of competition in there, it can help lower the costs. And I'm all for that. Yeah. I want as many people to compost themselves as possible because I want a mausoleum. I want to build a stone monument of granite and concrete, mournful with like angels weeping in long flowing robes and like Latin phrases etched on the side and bas reliefs of moments from my life. And that's going to cost an arm and a leg. Sure. So I need as many people as possible to start putting
as much
themselves in the
land
dirt.
as possible, apparently.
Absolutely. I'm talking about something like James Garfield size. You ever been to James Garfield's tomb?
I have not.
It's impressive. And so is Grant's tomb. Ulysses H. Grant. Ulysses S. Grant, sorry. Hiram was actually his birth name, but that's another topic. Anyway, so now the Utes are availing themselves of human composting. Not as morbid as it sounds. Sean Hannity actually talked about this on his program. I'm not sure he has the right idea. He's close.
So imagine your mom and dad drop dead, or God forbid, grandma or grandpa drop dead. You're going to put them in your compost pile, and even their bones will be put in there, and then you'll use it next summer, to grow your crops if you have a small garden, or grow your flowers. We'll just use mom and dad's ashes to get there.
Now, see, that's why I say I'm not sure Sean has the right idea, because ashes are not very good things to grow stuff in, because you've burnt all the carbon and it changes the actual contents of your body, and you can't be used for the soil, versus actual composting, in which case you could become a tree. I think that's nice.
Yeah, and I do think that is a thing. People make they want some kind of living thing as opposed to a mausoleum, but even those are cool. Yeah, trees, and I think they just want to return more a spirituality to maybe the earth and all this other stuff. I think it's cool. I think it's interesting.
Absolutely.
Conversation.
I'm fine with that. And it also is a matter of individual choice, which I always support individual liberty above all else. If you do want that option, 6 states so far have made it legal. Washington was first in 2019, followed by Colorado, Oregon, Vermont, California, and New York soon following. I also bring this up, these alternative burial methods, because you will have to catch me over my dead body driving one of these damned electric cars with mimicked muscle car sounds. This is insulting. Like, there's actually a safety concern with these electric vehicles. They're too quiet, so you have to pump in some kind of sound for the blind to potentially hear these cars driving down the road. This is stupid, though. Dodge introducing their new Charger with electric Charger with muscle car sounds. Ooh, this is cool, guys. It's so fake. No, over my dead body. Get a real car! Oh my God. This is ridiculous. You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle. If you want electric Dodge, go for it. It's not my cup of tea. I like a manual transmission where you can feel the power of the motor behind your control. Stay tuned to 93 WIBC, Saturday Night on the Circle. Producer Allison on the board, having an excellent time and more enjoyable times to come.
Tony Katz.
It's best, Mr. President, that you don't know what you're guilty of. It's best that you not know that these documents pertain to conversations regarding Ukraine, where your son was having business dealings and making millions of dollars, and now they, meaning the free and thinking world, can connect your classified document, the classified documents in your possession, to things that may exist on your son's laptop.
Tony Katz, mornings 6 to 9 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code OIL to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code OIL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code OIL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
I don't want to go to bed at night dreading waking up in the morning knowing that I'm going to feel like a rusty lawn chair getting out of bed and getting opened up and not being able to really move for a couple hours really throughout the day.
For former college and pro football player Bobby Carpenter and those dealing with daily aches and pains, QC Kinetics regenerative pain treatments are a game changer, providing long-lasting relief.
Go into a specific joint, a specific region, and then help promote that healing process using your own body's mechanisms to heal. I mean, that's been something that's pretty powerful, and there's no surgery, there's no downtime.
QC Kinetics natural treatments help the body heal and restore itself. No more rusty lawn chair.
It's no surprise to see people being willing to try this first, especially when it has such great results.
Pain relief the natural way. QC Kinetics. Call today for your complimentary consultation. Find out if you're a good candidate for treatment.
Call QC Kinetics, 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN.
I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
Broadcasting from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. This is Indy's Mobile News, 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. The news starts now.
The longest living president of the United States, Jimmy Carter, is receiving hospice care at home. I'm Ann Carrick, Fox News. The former president in Georgia. The statement coming from his foundation, the Carter Center. Fox's Alexis McAdams.
His foundation releasing this statement about his condition. After a series of short hospital stays, former U.S. President Jimmy Carter today decided to spend his remaining time at home with his family and receive hospice care instead of additional medical intervention. He has the full support of his family and his medical team. The Carter family asking for privacy during this time and is grateful for the concern shown by his many admirers.
Former President Carter is 98. Secretary of State Antony Blinken meeting with his Chinese counterpart today while both were in Germany. It's the first such meeting since the U.S. shot down a Chinese spy balloon 2 weeks ago off the coast of South Carolina. The meeting was scheduled for earlier this month. As the one-year anniversary approaches of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the vice president condemns war crimes and Ukraine calls for more aid. Fox's Trey Yingst is in Ukraine.
They say they're thankful for U.S. support, but need more artillery and rocket systems to kill Russian soldiers, while much of the world's focus remains on Ukraine's eastern front. The south is where analysts believe Ukraine could soon reclaim more of their territory. For civilians who have endured nearly a year of shelling, strikes, and attacks, that expected counteroffensive couldn't come soon enough.
President Biden is expected in Poland on Monday. Rescue efforts continue in Turkey with tens of thousands of people now homeless following a string of earthquakes. Fox's Kitty Logan.
Some survivors are still being pulled from the rubble after all this time. It's 12 days now since the quake hit. The chances of finding more survivors now is becoming slimmer by the day.
As many as 46,000 are confirmed dead. America's listening to Fox News.
Stay on top of the latest forecast with America's Weather Team in the palm of your hands.
Here's the latest from America's Weather Center.
It's Fox weather updates throughout your busy day, every day.
5 inches of rain by tomorrow.
Temperatures being 30 degrees above average.
Put the power of over 100 meteorologists and the worldwide resources of Fox in your hands with the Fox Weather Podcast. Precise, personal, powerful. Subscribe and listen now at foxnewspodcasts.com. Connect to Fox News Audio on the Fox News app. Listen to hear your favorite hosts like Brian Kilmeade, Jimmy Fallon, and Guy Benson standing up for what's right, live and via podcast. Just click listen, then swipe right and hear the latest news updates on your time. And scroll down to hear the latest podcasts from Fox News. And it's even easier to listen in the car with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Get programming alerts and notifications. Fox News Audio is on the Fox News app. The voices America trusts. Download it now.
After a toxic
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Preparing for the week's weather. Cloudy overnight, headed into a somewhat sunny Sunday. I'm Sasha Nixon. Here's what's trending this hour. Temperatures have been climbing this weekend as part of an unseasonably warm February. This trend will continue into the work week.
Monday, a small chance for some rain showers, only a 20% chance. Otherwise, partly sunny and still warm above normal temperatures with a high near 54.
That's meteorologist Jason Puma with the National Weather Service Indianapolis. Puma says the highest chances for rain this week fall on Wednesday. You could also see some thunderstorms that day. If you've been looking to adopt a furry friend, you will have an opportunity next weekend. On Saturday, February 25th, 3 dog bakery shops around Indianapolis will be hosting their Adopt Love adoption events. Each shop will have dogs available for adoption between 1 and 3 p.m. These events are the result of a collaboration between 3 Dog Bakery and Different Rescues. In Broad Ripple, pets will be available courtesy of the Golden Retriever Rescue. They will also be available thanks to Heartbeat for Paws on Mass Ave and the Humane Society of Hamilton County in Noblesville. As of Saturday evening, the average price for gas across the state was $3.32 per gallon, according to GasBuddy.com. That's below the national average of $3.37. In honor of President's Day, the Indianapolis Zoo will be open Monday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. So if you and your family members have the day off work or school, you might enjoy spending the day with the animals. The zoo tweeted the fantastic news Saturday. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. Now here's the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Clouds increase to mostly cloudy skies for tonight. An isolated chance at an early morning sprinkle. Low temperatures in the mid-30s tomorrow. Mostly sunny, breezy. High temperatures climb into the mid-50s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
Find your outdoor adventure at the Ford 68th Annual Indianapolis Boat Sport and Travel Show, February 17th through 19th and 22nd through 26th at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. Over 750,000 square feet of the latest boats, RVs, power sports, motorcycles, Tackle Town USA, travel destinations from across North America, and much more. Save money and buy tickets online at IndySportShow.com. And don't miss the 25th Annual Indiana Deer, Turkey, and Waterfowl Expo during the final 4 days of the sports show, February 23rd through 26th at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. It's the largest hunting expo in the Midwest, displaying the latest hunting, archery, and waterfowl gear. Hunting outfitters from around the globe. Learn from the pros at the Hunting Seminar Series. Get your deer scored and see the Hoosier Record Book Hall of Fame. One ticket gets you into both shows. Save money and buy tickets online at IndySportShow.com. Another Renfro production.
Up to 100 times more potent than morphine, the tiniest amount of illegal fentanyl is all it takes to cause an overdose. Learn more at cdc.gov/overdose.
When you're high, you feel different. But if you feel different, you drive different. So don't drive high. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is Saturday Night on The Circle on 93 WIBC.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Saturday Night on The Circle. I'm your host, Ethan Hatcher. Join the YouTube chat in progress. Look up WIBC on YouTube. Check my podcasts uploaded to WIBC.com and Saturday Night on The Circle.fireside.fm. Producer Allison on the board doing a great job. Happy to have you as part of the show. This hour, we're beginning with the Biden administration lying to you in spectacular fashion, an art they've perfected over the course of the 2 years he has been in office, because when you can't succeed, you just lie to the American people, touting successes that don't really even exist, as Karine Jean-Pierre did this week at a press conference where she flat out claimed the Biden administration had lowered gas prices by $1.60 since taking office.
We talk often about the gas prices going down to about $1.60 per gallon. That's because the president took historic steps to see that happening.
Gas prices were $2.39 a gallon when Biden took office, and for not 1 day since that time period has the gas price dropped lower. In fact, it has exponentially increased. So yes, it's down $1.60 from its high point, but that does not mean the Biden administration has lowered gas prices in any substantive way. It remains higher to this day than the $2.39 that it was, the average that it was when he took office. But you can't tell the administration that they believe they're incredibly popular. At least that is what's being represented. Again, Karine Jean-Pierre saying that hordes of American citizens are expressing their deep gratitude to the president for the formula shortages, for the train derailments, for the botched Afghanistan withdrawal, for the out-of-control inflation, for the myriads of problems. Yes, this apparently inspires gratitude from the masses.
Why do you think the president has such low popularity, favorable ratings, and you have even less favorable ratings? Why do you think that is?
I will tell you what I see when I'm out on the road. I see people thanking the president.
It's not translating.
Thanking our administration. I think that what we have to do is focus on what is actually strengthening America and the American people and American families. And when I talk with American families about what they want and what they care about, things like bringing down the cost of health care, bringing down unemployment, doing the work of strengthening and growing America's workforce, including American manufacturing. That's what the American people want.
That's an interesting lie as well, representing that in any way the Biden administration has brought down the cost of health care. Everything is up since Biden took office. There's not one portion of the American economy that has experienced relief. Housing prices are up, gas prices are up, energy prices are up, grocery prices are up. Everything is up, certainly healthcare included. And then wages are down. Wages are down when compared to inflation. So I guess that is one thing that the Biden administration has managed to lower. But all of this uniting the country in the recognition of the failure that is embodied by the Biden administration. And now the field is starting to take shape as we prepare for the 2024 elections and the Republican primaries. A new hat has entered the ring. Nikki Haley saying that she is making the run.
I have devoted my life to this fight, and I'm just getting started. For a strong America, for a proud America, I am running for President of the United States of America.
Nikki Haley, former Carolina governor and also ambassador to the United Nations. I'm not sure she truly intends to run for president. I had one of my friends actually made this rather astute observation while we were on the job, suggesting instead this is a bid for a vice presidential pick or possibly a cabinet level appointment. I think that is dead on the nose. She's polling at somewhere around 4%. I don't think there's anything for Nikki Haley specifically to inspirationally hang her hat on, especially when Ron DeSantis seems to be riding the cultural zeitgeist of popularity. So this could be, in fact, a clever bid for a vice presidential pick or, again, a cabinet level position, which sometimes these runs for presidential or for the president actually are meant to be. Rather an appointment within the halls of power and then setting up for a run at a later date. Here is Nikki Haley's portion of her actual campaign ad now that she's made the announcement.
The railroad tracks divided the town by race. I was the proud daughter of Indian immigrants. Not black, not white. I was different. But my mom would always say your job is not to focus on the differences, but the similarities. And my parents reminded me and my siblings every day how blessed we were to live in America. Some look at our past as evidence that America's founding principles are bad. They say the promise of freedom is just made up. Some think our ideas are not just wrong, but racist and evil. Nothing could be further from the truth. You should know this about me. I don't put up with bullies. And when you kick back, it hurts them more if you're wearing heels. I'm Nikki Haley, and I'm running for president.
So that was about a minute of a 3-minute campaign advertisement. Producer Allison, is that doing anything for you? Do you feel inspired by the former governor?
I mean, they have the inspirational music going.
They got the music.
I can see the American flag in the background. Yep. Yeah,
you don't even need to watch the video. Right. You can visualize it.
It's a campaign.
It is a campaign ad. But, I mean, is she getting anywhere by trying to lean into this identity politics? I mean, just dipping her toe right in the water just a little bit, kind of flirting with it, in a more positive way for a Republican audience. Is this going anywhere?
Sure. Well, I mean, I can definitely see she's leaning towards, I'm a girl boss type of, appealing to more the younger generation of women or, feminist type of deal. So I don't know, maybe it'll work for her, maybe it won't. But I think, like you said, she's just trying to get her foot in the door for maybe a vice president role later on.
I mean, I am interested by the idea of female leadership as long as it's substantive. What do you got to back it up, lady? Let's... Sure. Well, I mean, if you're going to throw your hat into the ring, it's time to be, put on your big boy pants and let's put up or shut up. That's the same expectation for literally any candidate. So, Nikki Haley, you're up. And any alternative is better than a Biden. I'm willing to consider it, Nikki Haley. I think DeSantis is probably just a touch more likely, given, again, riding the wave of the cultural zeitgeist. But you never know in the election cycle. Certainly anything is possible. And now she's getting her brand out there early. Getting a head start. You're listening to Saturday Night on The Circle. Stay tuned for more. Coming up next, we're going to talk about an interesting topic making the waves across the Twitter sphere and the Twitch sphere. If you are a gamer, I'm sure you've heard of the supposed controversy surrounding Hogwarts Legacy, in which leftists are labeling you an enemy of the trans community and hater of Jews if you play this wizarding video game. It's absurd, I know, on its face. And since the boycott has been launched, the game has risen to the top, floating to success on an ocean of liberal tears. We'll tell you more about it, bringing in guest Tony Kinnett coming up next. So stay tuned to Saturday Night on The Circle.
Kendall and Casey.
Okay, so the premise of this movie, I'm gathering, is some drug lord, dealer, whatever, lost a bunch of cocaine. They send these people out to get the cocaine. They encounter a bear who got to the cocaine like before they did.
Yeah, and then the bear goes on a killing spree because he's all hopped up on the cocaine.
Well, sure, why not?
Kendall and Casey, weekdays 9 till noon on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But inflation and recession has you wondering if all of your hard-earned equity will still be there. What if you could recession-proof your equity right now? You can with TrueHold. TrueHold will buy your home for its best current value before a recession can erode it. You get to bank all the cash now and live in your home for as long as you want. And TrueHold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance. And since TrueHold pays your home's current value in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't wait for inflation, recession, and interest rates to erode your home's value. Visit TrueHold.com and discover how much TrueHold will buy your home for today based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, fastest way to cash out on your home's value without having to move. That's TrueHold.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code OIL to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code OIL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code OIL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Are you working way too hard for way too little? There's never been a better time to consider a career in IT. You could enjoy a recession-resistant career in a rewarding field with plenty of growth opportunities and often flexible work environments. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. You could start your new career in months, not years. Take classes online or on campus, and financial aid is available to qualified students, including the GI Bill. Now is the time. mycomputercareer.edu.
I'm Siniqua Martin Green, and when my mother was diagnosed with cancer, our world changed forever. This experience made me so passionate about spreading awareness of treatment options, including clinical trials. I'm joining Stand Up to Cancer to get information to those who have been diagnosed with cancer and their loved ones. Clinical trials introduce new hope for patients, providing access to cutting-edge new treatments. Talk to your doctor to see if a clinical trial may be the best choice for you or a loved one. To learn more, visit standuptocancer.org/clinical trials today.
After I came home from Iraq, I could still hear the booms. Makes it hard to be a good mom.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I'm Naomi Mathis, Air Force veteran.
DAV helps veterans get the benefits they've earned.
Thanks to DAV, I was able to begin to heal.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories great and small.
My victory is being able to be here for my children.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
There are 48 million unpaid family caregivers in the United States. Visit aarp.org/caregiving to access a free guide to help navigate your caregiving journey. Find the path to recovery that works for you. Learn more at cdc.gov/stopoverdose.
We don't need no education. We don't need no thought control.
This is Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
No dark sarcasm.
Welcome back to Saturday Night on the circle with your bespectacled curmudgeon, Ethan Hatcher. Look upon my works and find podcasts uploaded to SaturdayNightOnTheCircle.fireside.fm, WIBC.com, and now streaming live on YouTube, where you can join the chat with our show in progress. Angry Twitter zealots from the darkest parts of the outrage mafia have banded together in a cacophonous screech against the video game Hogwarts Legacy because of its projected connection to anti-Semitic themes and J.K. Rowling's status with leftist Puritans as anti-trans turf. Now, naturally, this ridiculous tantrum has backfired in spectacular fashion as Hogwarts Legacy floats to success atop an ocean of liberal tears. And joining us to delve into this debacle is the fearless raconteur and investigative reporter for the Daily Signal and distinguished debonair Tony Kennett. Good to have you here.
Hey, how's it going, man?
It's going well, my friend. So I understand that you have purchased this game as well. I'm about 11 hours in and loving the adaptation, although I'm still having problems with my PC performance, but I guess console players are having a much smoother experience. I think it's solid.
You know, it's funny you say that. I'm actually sitting here next to the new graphics card that I finally upgraded to. I'm going to be putting it in this afternoon. Hopefully that'll improve performance. I love it. I'm 14 hours in. It is one of the better RPGs, I think, that I've played in the last couple of years. The story is pretty well written. The audio is buggy, which is, unfortunate. But other than that, it's really a phenomenal experience. I'm impressed with the amount of content that they've put in and how seamlessly a lot of it meshes together.
What we've learned with live service games in recent years, I'm sure, is that a few patches in some of the rough edges are going to be smoothed out. But overall, what I'm impressed with is the depth and detail, especially with the Hogwarts castle itself. Like, if you're going to do a Hogwarts game, you got to nail the setting. And they did it in spades, which is why it's so funny to read these disingenuous leftist tiers on articles like Wired.com, where they have review. There is no magic in Hogwarts Legacy. The game is mid at best, and its real-world harms are impossible to ignore. Leftists are trying to convince gamers that participating in this somehow is harming the trans community, which is an absurd premise, especially when some streamers have offered to donate money for trans charities and then have been subsequently shouted down by these virtue signaling leftists who are so oblivious to their own outrage that they're stymieing their own cause. It's absurd.
It is. And my simple solution to this is I don't care. I just don't care. I'm going to play the game and I'm going to enjoy the game. I don't see anything at all in the game that is transphobic. In fact, the game is very trans friendly, more so than is necessary in an RPG about wizards in the 1800s. However, I will point out something that I've found rather humorous. So the transgender's flagship, most exciting show, Velma, is being destroyed by critics and fans alike of the franchise. And they are so furious that Hogwarts Legacy, which is connected by the creator who has made some marginal criticisms of transgenderism, they're so angry that it is performing well that the best insult they can give it is mid at best. It's not middling. Compared to a lot of the RPGs that we've received in the last couple of years, it is far above, I would say, dozens of its counterparts. It beats the heck out of any Bethesda game since Skyrim, if I was comparing it to a Bethesda open world.
Well, honestly, at the best they can do is mischaracterize the story. Like going back to that Wired review, they go on to say it's tired. The story is rooted in anti-Semitic tropes, which is an outright mischaracterization.
That's the first time that I've ever heard that. What anti-Semitic tropes are they even talking about?
Well, it goes on. The gameplay feels dated. Graphics feel like they're a couple generations behind. All the characters are one-dimensional. It doesn't stay true to the established lore. Every character feels like an off-brand version of the characters we know and love. There is no sense of place, no magic, no heart. The reason why they call it anti-Semitic tropes is because of the Goblin Rebellion storyline, and somehow these goblins are supposed to be stand-in characters for Jewish people. Yes. It's like the lowest of the low blows, and it's not, yeah.
Why? Because the goblins have long noses?
Yes.
That's the trope?
And they're bankers.
But the goblins in the Harry Potter universe have always
it's
been
a dog whistle for
Jewish
racists. That's evidently what the liberals are hearing. So
okay, all right, I guess everything is a dog whistle. Everything is whatever. I'm amazed, but I'm not surprised. I mean, honestly, the gameplay is I don't see the characters as being like very knockoff.
No.
I was actually surprised how fresh they were able to make the experience. They did two things very well. Number one, they make your character feel like he or she is actually a part of the school. Like you're actually a student that is there, and that you're not just a prop that's been shoved into the story. And then number two, I actually feel like all of the surrounding characters, which there's kind of a main girl character and then a main boy character, one from Gryffindor and one from Slytherin, both of whom are very enjoyable to talk to. They enrich the world at large. And I didn't think that I would be enjoying and looking forward to going on quests with another NPC, like hoping that the other NPCs were there. But they're so well done. I'm very impressed with the writing in and of itself in the story. It's masterfully crafted. I wasn't expecting as big as a world as it has.
No, yeah, the map size is huge, and the attention to detail is great.
And oh man, and I mean the economy is very difficult to get used to. So you feel like you don't have enough money until you actually reach one point in the story, and then you actually have to work for it. I mean, again, I don't think very impressed with a lot of it.
I don't think the game is perfect, but as far as a basis to build on, my goodness, it's solid. It's more than I expected from a Hogwarts game, and it's nailed the atmosphere, which if you're a fan of the films, you know, I think you definitely want to be a part of, and that it gets in spades. I think my biggest critique actually is the stunning lack of John Williams' score to the game.
Oh, I disagree. I think the music is a decent adaptation.
I think it's a decent adaptation,
themes.
But I miss John Williams, especially when it's like so irritatingly close, but they've altered the melody for legally identifiable reasons.
In some places, they actually do get the notes just enough. They'll play 6 or 7 of the notes before abandoning the theme. But to me, I like it because that feels like a precursor to the series, which this is. You know, this is a prequel series to both both of the two film and book series. I
think the score is fine, but it doesn't hold a candle to John Williams.
I wasn't expecting that though.
I just wanted, like, you could have used at least one licensed theme. Come on, the Hedwig's theme. Da, 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 da. It's so instantly identifiable, and I was really expecting that in a Hogwarts game. But the fact that that's my biggest complaint, I think, speaks to the overall quality of the experience and why it's so hysterical to see these liberals, drown in an ocean of tears and float the game atop success. Like people have also defeated the Hot Tub Gamer Girls on Twitch streaming. More than 2 times the audience came in to support the streaming of Hogwarts Legacy. So like the boycott has not only failed, it's failed in spectacular fashion. And because of how popular and successful the game is, rising to number 1 on Steam sales and PS4 sales. I'm not sure if it's number 1 on Xbox yet, but we're going to see a sequel because of this.
And see, that's what really interests me, because there was a social media post that's been famous. I think it was a Tumblr post from decades ago now, which is just wild to utter that sentence, over a decade ago, in which someone said it would be amazing to have a Harry Potter game in which you were a student at Hogwarts, and then you could go out after school and basically roam around the wizarding world. And maybe if you wanted to be a professor or something like that. And that is the vein that this game has taken. We're actually realizing one of of the dreams that have been expected in video gaming.
Yeah, 11 hours in, and that's exactly what I've got.
I can't wait to be done with work today so that I can play a little more. Really, I haven't felt that way about a game in such a long time. And again,
last time for me was the Marvel Spider-Man game. I thought was really good.
Oh, dude, well said. Marvel Spider-Man, No Man's Sky, since it got refreshed by Hello Games, and Sean Murray's just phenomenal work with that. And then Sid Meier's Civilization games. This is definitely one that I would put up with those as addicting to get back into.
So you mentioned it. You mentioned this earlier, and I kind of want to tie into the issue as a capstone to our overall discussion, which is the spectacular failure of Velma as well. Now that we've seen the series finale, I mean, it definitely was not a trajectory towards success given the first couple of episodes, but man, it's failed. Nobody likes it. HBO is quietly trying to sweep it under the rug, in spite of the fact that they've renewed it for a second season. But I think it's interesting you have these two cultural issues at the same time, and it's illustrating the failure of woke pull on the culture at large.
And again, I just think it's funny that, people try to tell you that the left and the progressives are just everywhere and that they claim to be the majority. And then you actually take a look at audience scores of movies and games when they come out, and it shows very far from that projection. For example, Top Gun Maverick was supposed to be this right-wing fetish that was going to be terrible, and it ended up being one of the highest rated movies in the last 5 years. You're seeing this in several video game and also TV shows. And I'm really excited to see some of the larger organizations start to recognize this and put resources and time and again into telling classic stories with some of the new technology that we have. I'm excited to see maybe where we're going. Maybe this is too optimistic for sure. But I would pose we might be coming out of this awkward lull of woke ruining of entertainment, at least in some major areas that came out of the 2010s.
Because at the end of the day, money talks, and these production companies will abandon their social virtue signaling values as soon as it ceases to be profitable. And I think you're observing like Warner Brothers Entertainment starting to make those kinds of cuts and adjustments because the social virtue signaling, the woke agenda, has not proven to be profitable.
Yeah, you cannot actually run a company based on the whims of girls with pink and blue hair and thin Harry Potter style glasses on their face. That they just don't make up an entire market, no matter how much they believe that they do.
Nope. And HBO is learning that lesson. Unfortunately, they paid for 2 seasons worth of episodes, so I guess they're hoisting themselves on their own petard in spite of the spectacular failure. I
would pay for some additional DLC content of the Harry Potter game. I would pay for some additional chapters of this. That's when you make a game correctly and you ignore all of the nonsense, you get good results. And that's just the way it is.
Consumers will respond to quality products, and then the dollars speak for themselves.
Although that's
the beauty of the free spot. That's the oh man, we can get into that discussion too with the modding community and the fact that you're not allowed to mod your own single player experience. Nexus mods, okay, whatever.
Oh yeah, and that's not the first time that Nexus Mods has done that. So for those who are listening who don't know what we're talking about, Nexus Mods is a modding platform and a sharing center that allows people to mod certain games that they're playing, change visuals, graphics, gameplay elements. And in the Spider-Man game that we alluded to earlier, they actually deleted a mod from the platform that changed the transgender flags flowing in the breeze in New York into American flags, which actually fit more of a vibe of New York City.
And the best part about that mod was it came from the creators of the game, because that was the code for the Middle Eastern release. That they did it for the Middle Eastern release, so it was all virtue signaling. But yeah, no, Nexus Mods banned that from. You can't even alter your own single player experience.
And you have a similar case now, because the person the quote unquote lady who is the bartender in the 3 broomsticks, she is voice acted by a man. And it was a bug that in the released game, that character's voice sounds really low, and it takes you out of the game immediately because the face does not match up with the voice. It's very awkward. And so a lot of people are like, was it meant to be this way? It found out, no, actually the game producers intended for the bartender's voice to be much higher, an actual female voice. And so someone fixed this bug and put it up as a mod, and the transgender advocates got so mad because, God forbid, I don't want a female character who sounds like she's a dwarf. And that ended up being kicked off of the mod platform as well.
Oh my goodness. You can't appease that crowd because they were also displeased with the nomenclature of the character as Sirona Ryan. Sirona, you might as well call them they themington, put a fine point on it.
I mean, I actually got the mod from somewhere else, and now she sounds like a girl. Because, I mean, in voice acting, characters voice members of the opposite sex all the time. Half of the cartoon characters that are boys are voiced by females. Ash Ketchum, Timmy Turner, Jimmy Neutron. So, I mean, that doesn't upset me in the slightest, but I do have the mod that changes her voice. And let me tell you, it actually makes the world more seamless. I'm sorry. I know that everyone doesn't like it, but shucks, I don't care.
Yeah, you're not. Don't you know you're not allowed to mod your own single player experience? We've learned that.
Watch me.
Good, man. And that's, I think that is the summation of the whole issue, especially the gaming community at large. They don't care. Outside of the Twitter universe, this is failing in spectacular fashion.
No, Twitter's
and
not real life.
Nobody even knows. Except people like us who are participants in observing the culture at large. But besides us, it's mostly being ignored. And I think that's great. Good stuff.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, sir, that's all the time we have. Thanks for joining the show, Tony.
That's a great way to spend a segment, man. That's time well spent.
This is Saturday Night on the Circle, and catch Tony's new program, The Tony Kinnett Show, every Saturday from 1 to 3. Stay tuned to 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel.
The greatest national anthem of all time, track and field star Carl Lewis.
And the Rockets.
Uh-oh. Now, Nigel, I don't have a Grammy Award. I am not someone who's a professional singer. I don't think you're supposed to say uh-oh in the middle of your song.
Uh-oh, I'll make up for it now.
Hammer and Nigel, weekdays 3 till 7 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Pat Sullivan here, wanting to help you stop a leaking pipe or leaking appliance before it happens in your home. My friends at Hope Plumbing highly recommend the installation of Streamlabs, which is a water leak detection at your fingertips. Heading south for the winter? Forget to turn off your hose, running toilet? Streamlabs will detect, notify, and prevent possibly thousands of dollars worth of damage by automatically shutting off your water. Call Calvin, our Streamlabs specialist, at 317-790-9253.
Selling your house, it can be one of the most stressful experiences in life. It doesn't have to be. It's Matt Bear here. Hi. Last minute showings and never-ending negotiations can be a thing. It should be exciting, no anxiety. I had so much of that when I sold my house north of Indy. It felt like a lifetime of negotiations, and I even sold my furniture because, boom, closing time. I'm out. I could have skipped the hassle and sold directly to Open Door. I could have closed in a matter of days and focused on what's ahead in life. There isn't always a perfect time to move. Open Door can help any time be a perfect time. Take control of your move when you start with Open Door. Request an all-cash offer in minutes. Open Door eliminates the most stressful parts of selling your home, like showings and long, tedious negotiations. Start with a free all-cash offer on your house today at opendoor.com. That's opendoor.com. Open Door is represented by Open Door Brokerage Incorporated, license 0206113 in California, and Open Door Brokerage LLC in its other markets.
We need each other because every someone needs someone else.
We need each other because when we work together, we can do so much more.
We connect more children with what they need to grow up healthy, educated, and safe. And that's what Child Fund is all about.
Because when you make someone's world better, you make everyone's world better.
Child Fund, because we need each other.
Learn more at childfund.org. That's childfund.org.
Do you need furnace or heat pump service? Do you need to find a well-trained dealer like Marshall Mechanical in Franklin? We'll find that American Standard Air dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
Hammer and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Everybody's talking about regenerative medicine now because people who have joint pain are getting real, lasting relief without drugs or surgery. Tony Katz here. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in this exciting treatment. They use highly concentrated healing agents from your own body to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. If you have ongoing joint pain from arthritis or injury, you need to call QC Kinetics. Don't assume that steroids and surgery are your only option. Times have changed, and regenerative medicine can get you moving again with no downtime, so stop taking the pain meds and discover this remarkable alternative that pro athletes have been using for years. Thanks to QC Kinetics, this amazing treatment option is now available for people like you and me who are sick and tired of joint pain. pain. Don't put it off any longer. Spring is coming, and you want to enjoy all life has to offer. Call QC Kinetics right now for a totally free consultation with medical professionals in Eagle Creek, Greenwood, and now in Carmel. 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN.
We may be thousands of miles apart, but we can still connect. And when we do, we make things better. At Child Fund, we connect children all around the world with what they need to grow up healthy, educated, and safe. Together, we co-create connections that help millions of children who live in poverty worldwide, and their families, and their communities, and you. Join us. Together, we can make the world a better place. 2 small worlds at a time. Visit childfund.org to learn more.
The Phone Ready Quiz from the American Academy of Pediatrics will help you decide if you and your child are ready for their first phone. Go to healthychildren.org/phone ready quiz.
Carrick. Former President Jimmy Carter is at home in Georgia to receive hospice care. He is 98.
His foundation releasing this statement about his condition. After a series of short hospital stays, former U.S. President Jimmy Carter today decided to spend his remaining time at home with his family and receive hospice care instead of additional medical intervention.
Fox's Alexis McAdams. Secretary of State Antony Blinken met with his Chinese counterpart during a security conference in Germany.
According to the State Department, this discussion today that Antony Blinken had lasted about 1 hour. They did cover an array of topics from Taiwan to China's support of Russia, but it did begin with the Chinese spy balloon. That talk was had between Secretary of State Blinken and Wang Yi, who is the director of the CCP's Foreign Affairs Commission.
Fox's Alexandria Hoff. The U.S. scrapped Blinken's planned visit to Beijing after the spy balloon incident. America's listening to Fox News.
And the riot squad, they're restless. They need somewhere to go.
This is Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
Desolation Road.
Welcome back to Saturday Night on the Circle. Thanks for joining the show. Crazy stuff happening in Indianapolis, where the city has settled a lawsuit with the family of Drayshawn Reed, who you may remember from a police action shooting in 2020. This is Saturday Night on the Circle. I'm your host, Ethan Hatcher. Thanks for joining the show. Producer Allison on the board. Got some friends in the YouTube chat. How's it going, my friends? I see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening to the show and showing your support. Okay, so City of Indianapolis has decided to pay the family $390,000 settling in the wrongful death lawsuit against the officer involved in the shooting. According to attorneys representing the family, they said, at the time of the shooting, Reed presented no immediate threat to Officer Mercer or anyone else. And they say that Reed did not fire at the officer. An interesting claim, considering the fact that 2 shell casings were found next to the handgun that matched Reed's firearm, and the rest of the casings matched the officer's firearm. And it was even better because, fortunately, we had social media evidence from Drayshawn Reed's own postings that connected him with this weapon that had its serial number filed off. But, you know, I guess the defense attorney was just doing his job by representing him as a poor, defenseless civilian that did not fire at the officer or present danger to anyone. A very inventive lie. It's really disappointing that the city of Indianapolis sought to reward the family of this individual who had endangered lives on several occasions, including the afternoon in which he was arrested after having driven erratically speeding through the streets of Indianapolis, ultimately coming to a stop. I believe it was up around 60th Street. Before he exchanged shots with the officer. So, you know, a Oh, by the way, the prosecutor at the time investigated the shooting and determined that there would be no criminal charges fired against the officer for his involvement in the shooting. As well, there shouldn't be, because the officer was under reasonable threat to personal safety. When the suspect is engaging in gunplay, all bets are off, guys. It's how it works. It was not. He was not as innocent as is being portrayed by the attorneys, but there we have it. The city of Indianapolis settling with the estate for north of $300,000. But when you reward bad behavior, you will get more of it. And also in Indianapolis, we recently arrested a man who was accused of shooting into the Tiki Bob's Lounge 2 days before they announced they would be closing because of the deterioration of the city and the lack of law enforcement against these criminals. 34-year-old, led, I should say, by the friend of the miscreants in chief, prosecutor Ryan Mears. Court documents say 34-year-old Bill Aaron Jr. of Indianapolis, he shot into the bar on February 5th. 2 days before the bar announced that they were shutting down. He was kicked out of the bar around 1 a.m. and returned 2 a.m. Fortunately, the bar was closed, but surveillance shows him wearing a ski mask, walking towards the bar. His wife was tugging at him, attempting to pull him away from the situation. He fired one shot that sent the area into a panic. And later, after his arrest, this upstanding member of society attempted to blame the ordeal on his wife. Well, she was just tugging my arm, and that's why I shot into the bar. What a pathetic scumbag. And it gets better, and this is what I was talking about with the prosecutor. He was out on probation for another charge. Let's see. He had, at the time when he was arrested on February 11th, he had allegedly had drugs and a gun on him at the time. And he was also, he was on probation. I'm sorry. He was on probation. But the point being that he's already committed a prior offense. He's already been involved with the legal system and then let out light. And this, the revolving door of the criminal justice, I think, is an issue that's been touched on many times across WIBC, whether it's Guy Relford, whether it's Jason and Nigel on the Hammer and Nigel show. They have touched on that as well. And I think we are seeing, of course, the inevitable consequences of that lax on crime attitude that unfortunately is prevalent in the city of Indianapolis right now. Also, speaking of light on crime, Justice Department not bringing charges against Representative Matt Gaetz over sex trafficking allegations. This, according to his attorneys, on Wednesday. In 2022, his associate Joel Greenberg was sentenced to 11 years in prison for sex trafficking of a minor and other crimes. Career prosecutors in September recommended against charging Gaetz in the ongoing probe, telling the Department of Justice that a conviction against the lawmaker was unlikely because questions over credibility of two witnesses in the case. So Matt Gaetz in this case is getting off without a charge and continues a fine tradition of not enforcing the law. You're listening to 93 WIBC, Saturday night on The Circle. One segment to go. I think you'll be surprised to hear one website's take on healthy fast food, an unexpected name rising to the top. We'll tell you who, coming up next on 93 WIBC.
When you wake up.
State police are looking into why an officer.
When you work.
Must deal with the debt limit.
When you drive home.
We're alerted by a canine that drugs.
Traffic when you need it.
It's going to get brutal out there.
And updates all the time. Mornings with Tony Katz.
Never dawned on me. Wait a second.
Middays with Kendall and Casey.
Some of that is true.
Are you paying your hard-earned money?
Afternoons with Hammer and Nigel.
Was this just the excuse?
That's a fireable offense.
93 WIBC.
Creative Planning presents Rethink Your Money with John Hagenson, Saturday morning at 8. Join John as he exposes industry myths for financial truth seekers looking to navigate their retirement in the best way for them. Visit creativeplanning.com/radio.
Planning for retirement all comes down to what matters most for you. Is it a vacation home? Is it traveling the globe? You could call the team at Howard Bailey Financial to help you plan for your retirement and to help you have a successful and fulfilling retirement. Great things in business are never done by one person. They're done by a team of people, and I'm excited to share that Singer Financial is now Howard Bailey Financial, an Indiana-based retirement planning firm.
The Howard Bailey team possesses credibility at both an ethical and professional standpoint. They will deliver you a customized framework that allows you to create the meaning of retirement. Whatever you visualize retirement to be, let the Howard Bailey team customize a plan specifically for you. If you're ready for your best retirement, come forward and see the Howard Bailey difference.
Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities, LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved. Window Nation has the coolest deal ever for keeping you warm. Get 2 windows free with every 2 you buy with 0 down payment, 0 monthly payments, and pay 0 interest for 24 months. Now is the perfect time to take advantage of Window Nation's deep discounts, all while reinvesting in your biggest asset. Not to mention the savings on your energy bills for years to come. Up to 43% of your home utility bill goes to heating and cooling. With Window Nation windows, you can cut those energy bills during these cold winter months by keeping your hot air in and cold air outside.
Go with the window company that has installed over 1 million windows in over 150,000 homes, including mine. All with a 96% customer satisfaction. Call 866-90-NATION to get 2 free windows with every 2 that you buy, no limit. Plus, no down payments, no interest for 24 months. Call Window Nation, 866-90-NATION, or go to windownation.com and tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
It can be dangerously easy to steal your identity during tax season because so much sensitive info is all together.
Before we start the annual meeting of Sean's personal info, has anyone seen Social Security number?
Not me.
Nope.
Nuh-uh.
Oh, no. He's been stolen.
LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. If you become a victim, we'll work to fix it. No one can monitor all transactions, but you can save up to 25% off your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Identity theft protection starts here.
Hey, we're pretty social people at WIBC. You can find us all over social media. See what we're up to on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on YouTube. We're never more than just away. Just search for 93 WIBC.
I'm looking over a 4-leaf clover that I overlooked before.
This is Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
Third is the roses that grow in the lane.
An unexpected name has risen to the top of Taste of Home website, according to writer Jacqueline Weiss. Taco Bell officially one of the healthiest fast food chain options. Not what I would have originally guessed. You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle, 93 WIBC. At least, according to her, it's true, though, because of reduced sodium across the menu by 15% since 2008 and a push to have a 25% reduction by 2025. 100% cage-free eggs for their breakfast menu and cage-free egg ingredients were introduced in 2018. And they serve chicken raised without antibiotics, important to human medicine in U.S. restaurants. So I guess cumulatively, this means that Taco Bell offers healthy. I sincerely doubt the premise, but I can say from personal experience that no matter what you eat, as long as you regulate the quantity and keep it playing strictly by the numbers, if you burn more calories than you consume, you will lose weight. So if you want to do that, eating Taco Bell, by all means, but my goodness, how low do you have to stay? It's not even real Mexican food. It's not even real food, fast food, Mexican food. It just fails across the board. I know it's very popular. It's not my cup of tea. I'm not going to the Taco Bell, but if you do, it's one of the healthy options. Apparently, I don't know. I find this dubious, but it's probably healthier than if you get served by a mafioso. And here's the real kicker. It turns out a French pizza chef was captured by Interpol authorities at the beginning of the month. Edgardo Greco, 63, was part of the notorious crime city in Italy's Calabria region. So, here you go. You got Edgardo Greco in the pizza restaurant, and turns out he was a mafioso the whole time. Not the best character in the world as well, because he was originally given a life sentence for the murders of Stefano and Giuseppe Bartolomeo, killed in 1991 as part of a mafia war, according to the BBC News. He escaped police custody in 2006 after an arrest warrant was issued for the double murder of the brothers, and he's been on the run ever since, and had grown so confident in his identity, in his assumed identity. He even appeared on a local news segment promoting the quality of his pizza at the restaurant. So yeah, he got cocky, and it led to his downfall. But I'll bet you that pizza was authentic. You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle, rounding off the program with another abomination of food, kind of keeping in context with the theme, the boneless wing. You see, we've got a rash of food stand-ins across the United States, like surimi, a fish which becomes crab or lobster meat to many of us. Also, the idea of carrots. They're cut and buffed, their edges curved and smooth to become baby carrots instead of the regular carrots that we all know and love. Boneless wings gaining in popularity primarily due to price, because it's $8.38 a pound for bone-in wings compared to $4.99, but they're recycling breast meat and the skin of other parts of the chicken. You don't get the same level of flavor without having the bone in. Producer Allison, am I wrong on this? Where do you sit on the bone in or bone out debate?
I've always been suspicious about boneless wings.
Right.
I'm with you. There's a different
adult
taste.
Chicken nuggets. That's what they are. If you are coming to my party and you're bringing boneless wings,
we ask them politely yet firmly to leave.
No. Bone in only. That is my motto. I think it's a better flavor, and you don't need to be dabbling in the adult nuggets. I'm good with that. All right. Unfortunately, that brings us to a close. I've been having an excellent time. Thanks for listening to the show. I leave you with my parting words of wisdom, wherever you are, whoever you're with, whatever you're doing. Remember that life is a state of mind. See you next time.
Available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I